Ladies and gentlemen, Greg Michalowski from ForexLive.com. Today's date is March 14, 2023. This is the Morning Forex Technical Report. Let's get started. Of course, we've had the USDJPY data come out today, 0.5% for the 0.4% for the headline number, 0.5% for the core number. The core number was a little bit higher than the 0.4% expected, but the year-on-year levels came in as expected at 5.5% for the core and 6.0% for the headline. Those are still at 5.5% and 6.0%. We aren't necessarily seeing a big, huge move to the downside, and still well above the 2% target. The Fed, we're not going to get any help from the Fed here today. Why? Because they're in the blackout period before their FOMC rate decision next week on the 22nd. But the chances of a 25 basis point hike are something like 84% or something like that. We are seeing that is down from, where last week we were expecting 50 basis points. The two-year yield last week reached a high level of 5.08. It's currently at 4.25%. So maybe a banking collapse in the Silicon Valley Bank is great news for lowering our interest rates and then spurring on stock buying. We are seeing stocks move higher in trading here today. S&P is up about 44 points, and the Dow futures are now implying a gain of about 280 points, and the Nasdaq futures are implying a gain of about 140 points. So pretty decent rally to the upside here. Once again, if we take a look at last week to this week, what do we see? The two-year yield down to 4.24%, the versus 5.08%, and that's what we're seing. The 10-year yield, by the way, was up above 4% last week. It's at 3.95%, 3.59%. So that is down as well. So I guess that's stimulative. Let's take a look at the euro versus US dollar. The dollar is getting a little bit weaker. We did move up. This is a 4-hour chart of it. And admittedly, this week we're seeing lots of ups and down volatility. That's in between this, starting from this line right here. So you can see ups and downs, and the 200 bar moving average on the 4-hour chart comes in at 1.07027, and I've outlined this swing area between 1.0691 and 1.07039 as the level of support that we might look to help define the bias here. I'll outline these levels through here where the market found a resistance here, so ceiling through here over the last 4 or so trading weeks. Admittedly, and not surprisingly, we've seen the price move above and below that area. Also, we have the 200 bar moving average this week, but if the price is going to stay in the upward direction, the dollar selling direction, we need to stay above this area right here. If we move below it with momentum, then all bets are off, and we'll start to look toward this area right through here. But if we stay above it now, let me put it another way. The sellers had their shot yesterday. Sellers had their shot today, and they're missing that shot. So the dollar selling is still in more control. Now, having said that, we do have a ceiling here that comes between the 1.0744 and 1.0752, and that area has also a number of different swing levels through here. Admittedly, we moved above it in this day right here specifically, and these days here. This is going back 5 or so trading weeks, but in this week's trading, and we are finding resistance in this area right here. That if we get above it, more positive, more move to the upside with 50% retracement at 107.77 as the next key target in that direction. So that's how I see the euro versus US dollar. It's difficult markets, ladies and gentlemen, so be aware, but we'll see how that pans out. Let's take a look at the dollar versus yen. And again, I'm going to take a look at the 4-hour chart because, well, we have to. It's very volatile, and you need to go back in time. I'm going to first outline this area right through here. which seems a little bit more clear to me. We had a ceiling right here, moved above the ceiling, came down to use it as a floor, and then broke below it and used it as a ceiling again before rotating to the downside. So if we see, in this case, the dollar moving higher, because interest rates go, 2-year goes from 4.24% to 4.5%, it would still be, again, 60 basis points less than the high yield from last week at 4.5%. That's what makes it so crazy. But if we do see that, we could head up toward this area right through here, where you would look for sellers at that point from a technical perspective. On the downside here, I'm going to look at this swing area down here, where we had a number of different swing lows through here before moving to the upside. Came down to that area right through here and fell below it, and then used that level as resistance right through here. Admittedly, again, we saw lots of volatility above and below that area, but if the price should come down through this area and also below the 200 bar moving average in the 4-hour chart, the bias shifts more to the downside here. That would take a move back down, and yields probably in the dollar versus yen to do that. I'm not sure we're ready for sub 4% rates in the 2-year. Again, that was probably a big squeeze. So I'm a little bit skeptical as far as the downside goes and getting below those levels. So if anything, I would expect to see buyers, if there's any dip down toward that level, to find a bounce off of this area and a move back to the upside. So that's how I look at the dollar versus yen. Finally, let's take a look at the sterling versus US dollar. I'm going to put it on the 4-hour chart. These hourly charts, you need a bigger view here. Again, volatile this week's volatility up and down. Yesterday's trading, today we're seeing a more move to the upside here. And if anything, keep an eye on this area right through here. Swing high, swing high, swing high yesterday. We fell below it in trading here today, down below 121.42. So if the market should move below this level again and stay below that level, I think the downside would be explored or probed further to the downside, maybe down to the 61.8% retracement or the 200 bar moving average in the 4-hour chart. Absent that, the buyers remain more in control in the sterling versus US dollar. The dollar remains on the defensive to the downside. Let's see how it all pans out. My name is Greg Michalowski. Good fortune with your trading, because you'll need it. Bye-bye now.